If you're a suspect and you committed the crime, you're thinking, I wonder how much they know. How much do I need to tell them? Should I tell them anything?
Houston police believe James McCann murdered his estranged wife, Hattie Faye.
Everything's screaming, ex-husband.
They're convinced Frank Spencer killed his friend Jose Lorenzo as part of a gang hit. And they're almost certain Christine Paolilla was involved in the shooting of these four friends.
Tell me what happened.
Harris typically begins with some innocuous, probing question like this.
When was the last time that you spoke to Hattie?
Well, the last time that I spoke to her was on Wednesday on the phone.
Initially, all three of the suspects deny any involvement.
I didn't kill her.
You didn't kill him? Why?
But while they're laying out their alibis, Harris is patiently observing the suspects, looking for telltale signs of deception. Some are subtle, like this.
Tell me what happened.
Well, honestly, I don't know what happened.
What about honestly, truthfully, sincerely, I don't know?
Sincerely, honestly, truthfully, LY is like a big red flag going up because I'm like, here it comes.
Did you murder your wife?
Absolutely not.
It's a qualifying statement. I know his alibi isn't going to hold up because he's using the LY words.
Then there are the nonverbal cues. Harris teaches his students to look for nervous gestures, like hair twirling, face wiping, and above all, defensive body posture.
Let's say I was talking to you, Chris, and now we're talking around the edges of the crime that took place. You might lean back and be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Man, get out of my face, man. That's not what happened. And you would create that distance. You had your head down like this.
And in the box, Harris sees those signs of anxiety in Frank Spencer's slouch.
When I get this action, you're trying to separate yourself from it. You're trying to distance yourself.
That's what I'm trying to do, say what
James
happened, what I
McCann
know.
in a similar stance.
I don't know what happened.
See, your body tells me differently, Jim.
It does.
Your body's telling me just the way your eyes are, the way you're sitting, and the way you respond to certain things. Your body tells me differently.
And take a look at this. Christine Paolilla falls asleep as soon as Harris gets up for a break.
This is not an uncommon action. The fatigue sets in because they've been trying to keep their lies straight. They're physically exhausted, and they go out.
So Harris has to dig into his bag of psychological tricks.
What do you believe is the most helpful thing to do?
I talk about things that I've learned in my faith. A lesson on justice and mercy, in a very short synopsis, that justice is people getting what they deserve, and mercy is people getting what they need. Not what they want, not what they deserve, but what they need.
Do you believe you deserve justice or mercy? Mercy? Okay.
Very much.
It's a masterful technique, since no matter what the subject chooses, admitting a need for either justice or mercy is in itself a big step towards admitting guilt.
You got problems with that?
Look, you have to do whatever you can because they don't want to tell you things.
Yes.
The justice and mercy speech is enough to get an emotional reaction out of Christine Paolilla. But she continues to deny even entering the house where the quadruple murder took place, saying it was her boyfriend who did everything.
I had not been in that house.
Okay.
I was not in that house.
Okay.
At all.
So Harris abandons his customary cool and moves to the next step, confronting the suspect with crucial forensic evidence. In Paolilla's case, ballistics had confirmed there were 2 separate guns used as murder weapons. On top of that, police believe 2 of the victims were killed almost simultaneously, meaning there were likely 2 shooters.
There's 2 weapons. There's 2 weapons we have to account for, Christine.
I know, I know he had the gun, but I swear to God.
With Jim McCann, Harris has almost no forensic evidence.
Jim McCann could have easily gotten away with this murder if he had just said nothing.
So he has to try a purely mental tactic, minimizing the suspect's responsibility.
You want to minimize it because most people, when they confess, it's for damage control. They want to be viewed better than they are.
Listen closely as Harris suggests that perhaps the murder wasn't premeditated at all.
Sometimes things just kind of gets out of control and stuff kind of happens, all right?
Just a domestic dispute, which went over the edge.
If that was the case, do you think that person should be given another chance?
Well, I would say so, probably.
That's right. And if you can see that, and I can see that, other people will see that as well.
And if all else fails, there's another tried and true tactic. You may have heard of it. It's called lying.
Unfortunately, for the defendants and the suspects in America, the courts have blessed officers being able to lie to suspects about evidence.
And that's what happened with our friend Frank here, right?
Everything that took place in there was a bluff as far as relationships.
Harris gives Spencer the impression that his fellow gang members are at the station ratting him out to police.
Who's this?
That's Miguel.
All right, Miguel. What's
In
this?
reality, neither Miguel nor anyone else has spoken to the cops. Harris just pulled the photo off Frank Spencer's MySpace page.
Why does he know so much?
I don't know how you found out.
He tries the same trick with Christine Paolilla.
And I also was running a bluff on her, letting her think that we had her boyfriend, Christopher Snyder, in custody, which we didn't. Now, you do understand that Chris is saying this was all your idea.
Feels like the suspects are about to crack. But how will Harris finally get them to break?
When somebody confesses, did you shoot? It's an adrenaline rush.